Welcome to Science Story with Manzanita. What if I told you that one African American woman from Virginia, USA has helped save over 50 million lives worldwide? The most interesting part is that she wasn't a medical doctor, not a politician, not a billionaire, not soldier, not even a judge, and she even died poor, a rental lack of the HeLa cell. Abeg, sit down, let me tell you the incredible story of a rental lack of the HeLa cell. Welcome to Science Story with Manzanita. Heroine was born on August 1st, 1920 in Virginia. She was originally named Heroine Pleasant, and after her mother died, Heroine was raised by her grandfather in a cabin that was once a slave quarter. She worked long day in tobacco field, never finishing beyond grade 6. And she married her cousin, David Lack, when she was just 21 years old, and she moved to Maryland, where David Lack was working, and they both had 5 children together. On August 1951, Heroine Lack, a 31-year-old tobacco farmer and mother of 5 from rural Virginia, noticed something was wrong with her. She was bleeding when she shouldn't be. She had a knock in her womb. So she packed her thing and went to John Hopkins Hospital in Baltimore. Understand the time. This was segregated American. John Hopkins was one of the few places that would treat black patients for free. When Heroine arrived, doctor found an aggressive cervical cancer and they immediately started treatment. But here is where the story gets interesting and controversial. During her treatment, the doctor that was treating her, Dr. George Gay, took a sample of her cancer cells and her healthy cells without her knowledge or consent. This was normal practice then, but what happened next, nobody could have predicted. You see, woman cells typically die within days or weeks when removed from the body, but Heroine cells, they were different. Apart from the fact that they didn't die, they kept doubling every 24 hours. Show no signs of dying ever. This was the interesting part. Dr. Gay and his assistant Mary, with other scientists, were amazed for this discovery. For the first time in history, scientists had woman cells that were truly immortal. They called them HeLa cells, using the first letter of Heroine, first name, and the last name. They did well here. But here is the heartbreaking part. While her cells were thriving in laboratories, Heroine cell was dying. The cancer spread throughout her body like wildfire. On October 4th, 1951, just 8 months after her first visit, Heroine Lack passed away. She was only 31 years old. What a life. Meanwhile, her cells were already changing the world. Scientists began sharing HeLa cells globally. They used them to develop polio vaccine that saves millions of children. They used it in drug development for cancers and HIV/AIDS, and other countless diseases as well. Even most recently, COVID-19 outbreak, it was HeLa cell that gave the breakthrough in vaccine development and in management. My people, if you have ever received any vaccine in your life, you probably hold your head to Heroine Lack. Here is where the story becomes painful. While Heroine cells were generating billions of dollars for companies and researchers, her family remains in poverty. Her children couldn't even afford health insurance. The family didn't learn about HeLa cells until 1970, almost 20 years later, when researchers contacted them for blood samples. Imagine their shock. Their mother cells were famous worldwide. They knew nothing about it. For decades, the Lack family fought for recognition and compensation. It was 2021, 70 years later, that they finally sued a biotech company, reached a settlement. Although the settlement was not publicly disclosed, but the family was settled in year 2023. Presently, the family were in court with other companies such as Novartis. HeLa says I've traveled to space, to deepest ocean trench, to every continent on earth. Heroine died without consent being given, without knowing her contribution, and without her family benefiting. But her legacy forces us to ask important questions. Should family be compensated when their genetic material leads to medical breakthrough? How do we balance scientific progress with human dignity? Our story reminds us that behind every medical miracle is a human being with a story that deserves respect. So what is your take? Should pharmaceutical company share profit with family? Drop your thoughts in the comment section. And if Heronine's story moves you like it moves me, smash that like button. Share this with everyone who needs to know her name. And subscribe for more untold story of unsung hero in science world. Because there are many of them that contributed to change the world. Thank you.